sandstorm.
How we roll, hey.
Yeah.
I got my shoes high and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted. You know how I roll.
This is how we roll.
I got my shoes high and my jeans low. I got my socks fitted. You know how I roll.
This is how we roll. Yeah.
Homicidal clothes cause I'm dressed to kill. Leave 6 bitches oohing cause I'm worth a mil. Flow is ill, spitting no vomit spill. Killing them softly but I ain't Lauren.
Incorrect gestures, one bald head.
What is
So I was
up,
watching.
my people?
I was watching it.
No, you're good. My bad. Bad intro. It's all good. What is up, everybody?
good.
Welcome to another episode of the Townie Sports Podcast. As you can see, we have a jam-packed house today. Obviously, I am, as always, alongside Vic. Vic, how you doing, bro?
Living the dream, Sammy. Living the Gallinari dream.
And, of course, we had to bring our favorite guests on for this nice little summertime lull. But there's actually a lot of news to get to, so, I mean, it's going to be
I
pretty
can't
fun.
wait to talk NBA.
And, of course, we have our guests from the Fairweather Podcast, A-Rod and KK. I'll start with you, A-Rod. You can introduce yourself, say what's up, and then you too, KK, after.
Always a pleasure to jump on. I'm one half of the Fairweather Podcast with my co-host to the left of me or right of me, whichever way you're watching the angle of it. Yeah, just avid sports fan, big New York fan. Kind of do the same thing as these boys, and I'll pass it on over to my better half.
Yeah, I'm the better looking half of this duo. It's KK. Weirdly enough, I root for a lot of Philadelphia teams, but I'm not from Philadelphia, so go figure. Thank you to Allen Iverson for that. But yeah, we got the Fairweather Podcast on our end, and we took we're in between seasons right now, so this is very refreshing to kind of get my vocals back up again.
It's the awesome.
Let me shout out Geronimo, Camila. What's up? We love you up there, Worcester.
But all right, guys, glad to have you guys on. Obviously, a little bit of a sports lull, but we have some pretty big news in the NBA going on. Obviously, off season's kicking off. I mean, we had some crazy news within the first 48 hours. Honestly, first thing I wanted to touch on. You guys weren't on with us last week, but we touched a little bit on it, and obviously, it's still kind of going on. But we got this little Kyrie and KD saga going on right now. So A-Rod's chopping at the bit right now. So KD still wants a trade. Brooklyn pretty much wants the world for KD. Nobody is really willing to bite on that, considering everybody's kind of in a phase where they're building on a certain star of their own. And Brooklyn wants every single one of those guys. And the situation happened because of the whole Kyrie situation. And it's come to find out that Kyrie's courting options aren't as good as he thinks they are, considering the only team that really wants anything to do with Kyrie is the Los Angeles Lakers. Go figure, right? So, A-Rod, you're chopping at the bit right now about this whole situation. What say you about this situation? Where does everybody go? Or is this just going to be a stand pat?
All right, so I should have tweeted this. KK was like, "You dumbass." Should have tweeted it. But in respect to KK, he was drunk at his own party, and I couldn't do anything. I had no saying this because I was kind of leading to it too. But when it's all said and done, I feel like KD is just going back to the Warriors. That's what I honestly feel in my heart is going to happen. But as far as this whole scenario with KD and Kyrie, they're both kind of pigeonholed in a way. The Rudy Gobert kind of messed everything up in this trade. So like Rudy Gobert is kind of like the floor for trading since, what is it? They got 5 draft picks.
He's the Christian Kirk for wide receivers.
Yeah, exactly. So he's the Jazz have left with a king's ransom, and that's what the Nets are trying to do here in their overhaul if this happens. KD's still under contract, so he could potentially stay and have to play out that contract, but he's not going to want to. I feel like KD's the type of person that's just like, I don't want to be here. Therefore, I've got all these endorsements. I've got money, fine. Like, I don't want to play here. But we also say KD is also a hooper. So it's hard to say where KD will fit in. We have all these speculations, Miami, Toronto, the Warriors. Anything is possible in the NBA. That's what's crazy, is anything could happen. And as far as Kyrie, on our last episode, KK told me, or asked me, he's like, how would you feel if Kyrie went to the Knicks? And, you know, I would be appalled if they signed him, because I don't think Kyrie is a good leader. I think Kyrie is just very scary person to have in that locker room. He's easily influenced by things around him. He's very emotional. I don't want him. This team is already my team. The Knicks. I'm a Knicks fan. Is scary as it is. Like, we don't know where we're gonna get. And Knicks fans are hopeless people. You know, like the Israelites run in the desert for 40 years, man. So like, they're just really bad. So I don't need it to get any worse. But Kyrie, like you said, kicking off the show, he thought his market was going to be really, really good, but it's showing that it's not, and only the Lakers are interested. And I'm going to stop hogging the mic. I'm going to let somebody else talk now. So.
Before Vic goes, I know Vic really wants to rebuttal, but let's get KK's take on this first, and then Vic, you go. I know you got a lot to say,
right.
Vic.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna keep it very brief because I've been letting this marinate for a couple weeks now. It's crazy. So I'll start with Kevin Durant. It's kind of peculiar that he wants to abandon ship already. I mean, it was his decision to make this decision to leave Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green to go do his own thing, and he's already given up on doing his own thing to go join forces with another powerhouse again. Because the first two teams that came out as far as on his list was number 1 seed Phoenix and number 1 seed Miami Heat. So go figure. He was on brand with that. So, you know, it's peculiar. You know, I wish he would reconsider, more so because I have a lot of respect for his game, and I want to have a lot of respect for his character. And I've finally gotten over the Golden State thing, and now he pulls this again. So I'm a little I wish he would just make up his mind of what he wants. Does he want to just win championships? Does he want to be an assistant that kind of fits his game? Does he want to be a leader? I wish we would just iron that out so we can just stop with all these comparisons, because he's clearly not a leader. So I don't know why people always want to, you know, put him in this category that he's not. So, and again, I don't have any issues with Kevin Durant. I actually like Kevin Durant a lot. It's just, you know, it's just, I wish he wouldn't pull this card, because it's really not necessary at this point. Now, as far as Kyrie, you know, Kyrie is honestly like the guy from Dos Equis commercial. He's the most interesting man in the world. You know, I don't think he actually flat out said, I want to trade. I think just Brooklyn was just fed up with all the nonsense. I mean, they made it clear at the end of the season that, you know, we want people who actually want to be here. And obviously the vaccine thing kind of just split the team apart. But even before the vaccine thing,
single-handedly,
he would just randomly just not show up to work and randomly not speak to his teammates for weeks and sage the court and not talk to anybody. It's just a lot of weirdness. And I think Brooklyn just wants to go a different direction. So, you know, a few years ago, they were in the right path when they had like the Spencer Dinwiddie, the Jared Allen, and all that stuff, and they blew it all up for absolutely nothing, it seems like right now. So obviously they need to figure out if they want to go to a full rebuild, or they want to kind of just see where they're at, because the East is getting a lot harder now. And you know, and as far as Kyrie's options with the Lakers only being his only option, at least it's the Lakers. It could be Oklahoma City or, you know, Vancouver or something, but it's at least it's Los Angeles and it's the Lakers, and it's to go play with somebody that he became a man with when he was with LeBron. So, you know, at the end of the day, if Brooklyn is stupid enough to take on Russell Westbrook, well, at the end of the day, that's the only way it's going to happen. So they're going to take on Russell Westbrook, then by all means, definitely do it. But, you know, as far for Kyrie, you know, it's nothing he does surprises me anymore. But I would say that Kevin Durant one was a little bit more surprising for me.
So I feel like Tony Reali here. So around the horn. So Vic, what is your take? I should start giving points. I need like a little point system and start giving you guys points.
You could pull a Tony Reali with the facial, you take it off. You can pull a Tony Reali.
You're the best Tony Reali out there, buddy. Fuck Tony Reali. He's a bitch.
Oh my god.
So here, okay. Let me ask you guys this.
Views expressed here are solely of the individual.
Yeah. Let me ask you guys this. In his 3 years at Brooklyn, over under 60 games per season for Kyrie Irving. What's the most he's played for one season since he's been in Brooklyn?
Over under what?
52.
Over under 60.
Under.
Oh, it's under for sure. I think it was 52 or something.
All right. Over under 55.
Under.
Under.
Correct. The most games he's played in Brooklyn since he's been there was the 2020-21 season, which was 2 years ago. 54 games. The year before that, 20 games. The year after that, 29 games. It's easy to average 46%, 47% shooting from the field and 41% shooting from the field from three when you're only playing 30 games a year. Kyrie Irving, your best ability is your availability. And if the Los Angeles Lakers think that they're going to get Kyrie Irving for Russell Westbrook in a 2028 first-round pick, they've lost their mind. There's no way that trade happens. They're going to have to give up Horton Tucker. They're going to have to give up one of their young assets. There's no way that they can make this trade. On the Kevin Durant end, that trade is not happening, guys. It's not happening ever. There's no way that the Warriors are going to part with young guys like Kuzma. Like Kuminga, like Poole for Kevin Durant. It's not going to happen. Their contracts are too good. They've got him for long term. They don't just to bring back Kevin Durant. They just won a championship. They don't need Kevin Durant. Number two, that Rudy Gobert trade messed everything up for Kevin Durant. The price is so much higher. If Rudy Gobert goes for what he went for, and he went for significant assets, not just picks-wise.
Which we'll get to.
He also, and I won't touch on it yet because I know Sam wants to get on it, but he also went for some pretty decent young players as well. So Danny Ainge did what he does and fleeced another team. Why people still trade with Danny Ainge, I have no idea, but they did. And they messed up, and now the price for Kevin Durant is that much higher. I was seeing on Twitter that the price for Kevin Durant from the Celtics was Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, and multiple first-round picks. They're not getting their asking price for Kevin Durant. I think Kevin Durant finishes this season with the Brooklyn Nets.
What about Kyrie Irving?
That's a shit.
Hot take there.
Hey, keep in mind, Brooklyn wants to offload Joe Harris as well. So, I mean, if you're LA, you're doing whatever to make this happen. If you have to come off of THT, then so be it.
Maybe they do that for Kyrie, sure, and enjoy him for his 20 games. I could care less what happens to Kyrie Irving. There is not a human being in the NBA that I care less about than Kyrie Irving. God bless him. Good, good for you. Get your bag, whatever. Fuck you, dude. All right, that's what I have to say, Kyrie Irving. All right, he let down his teammates, and the audacity of this man to always think that he's the smartest person in the room and never listen to anybody else's opinion because he always thinks he's right. That's why it didn't work with the Celtics, and that's why it's not working with Brooklyn. That's why he broke up with James Harden. So we think that he's going to get back together with LeBron and all's going to be hunky dory. No, he already left LeBron. Remember, if you guys remember, they won a championship, and he was like, "Nah, I'm good. I want out." This is not the Kyrie Irving of old, guys. This is a guy that's going to play maximum 50 games a season and maybe show up for the playoffs.
Mikey in the chat is saying contract year Kyrie is going to make you look silly, bro.
Well, he also said that I was an idiot for thinking that the Bengals would win the division.
He's going to hold that against everybody.
Ooh.
He's going to hold that against everybody.
Bang bang.
I love it. All right, moving on. I don't want to shoot this Brooklyn thing to death because there were so many.
Can I just say something real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you not think Ben Simmons is the reason for all of this? Because at the end of the day, take him for somebody who had Ben Simmons in the locker room. Nobody wants to play with Ben Simmons. I feel like once Ben Simmons got moved to Brooklyn, it's like, bro, what?
And that contract put Brooklyn in a tight spot. They can't.
Yeah, now they can't get Booker. They can't get Bam. They can't get a lot of players. So it's like
I think that Bam deal would have went through had Ben Simmons not been there.
Yeah. So yeah, they're kind of the Brooklyn screwed themselves. I mean, with blowing up the team, how they blew it up to go get James Harden, and then think about it. They lost a lot of pieces because of James Harden, who played a season and a half there. Like it's crazy. So.
Yeah, they traded away all their assets. And honestly, let's be honest. You know what? I'm good, Sammy.
You're good.
I know we want to move forward. I'm done.
Oh, you're good. You're good, man. Because I'm just saying it because we got so many other things. I know KK is gonna want to touch on the 76ers when I put a jab on them. So I want to give everybody their due time here. But yeah, all right. So the next big thing that happened since we talked last, Vic, I believe we did a show Thursday before July 4th. Friday was like a huge day where pretty much everything happened. The Boston Celtics trade for Malcolm Brogdon, and they signed the man, the myth, the legend, Danilo Gallinari.
Danilo.
Let me play a quick clip for everybody. You wanted me to play this clip. So today he just came out, had a press conference. So let me play it for everyone.
I grew up with my dad since I was a little kid, being a Celtics fan, being a Larry Bird fan. So when the Celtics came on the table, it was almost like a no-brainer. And you walk even in this facility, you look around and you see what's going on around, the banners and the history and everything that the Celtics are about. It was an easy choice.
So Vic, I'm gonna let you sound off first. Obviously, on these big signings, we didn't get to talk about it yet, and then we'll get to the other two guys in the East and see how afraid they are of the Boston Celtics going forward. So, Vic, go ahead.
So I want to start off with Malcolm Brogdon here. And do you want me to do one and then the other, or do you want me to just and then how do you want to do this?
Go to both. Do the whole thing. See how it fits with the scheme and everything, how it's gonna look, and then.
All right. So you had Malcolm Brogdon, who's the big trade of the season, right, or the off season right now. But unless you think Rudy Gobert is going to change the way that that the Minnesota Timberwolves are going to play. But
First round exit.
What's that?
First round exit.
Exactly. Still first round. Doesn't do anything to change. But let's go back to Malcolm Brogdon, right? So here's another guy where you can easily say, hey, Vic, you just said about Kyrie Irving, the best ability is availability, right? Yeah, I mean, you're right. He played in 36 games last year, 56 the year previous, 54 before that. Yeah, I understand this is a guy that is injury prone, but when he is healthy, he is one of the best players, one of the best playmakers in the NBA. If you look at his stats on the Pacers team, that honestly, let's not kid ourselves, was not that great. He averaged 16 points per game in 2020, 2019-2020, 21 points per game in 2020 and 2021, and 19 points per game in his injury-short 36-game season last year. Now, if you look at his splits, he's a great free throw shooter, so you're not afraid to have him out there. But defensively, he makes a difference as well. On the defensive end, he averages about a steal per game, which is great, but he can lock down anybody from a point guard to a wing. He is a big reach. He's 6'5", 6'6", at that point guard position. With him, Smart, White, all kind of rotating there, I think you can have a big season from Malcolm Brogdon. If we want to go back and take a look at Malcolm Brogdon when he was the sixth man in Milwaukee, what he did off the bench, in 28 minutes he averaged 15 points a game in his last year in Milwaukee, 3 assists, 4 rebounds a game, shot 92% from the free throw line, 42%. It was a career high, 42% from three.
Was that 18-19?
18-19, when he was the sixth man in Milwaukee,
I think
right?
he was a net
50,
plus
40,
10,
90
I
year?
think, too.
Yeah, he was incredible. He was incredible that year. So, just super pumped to have him as part of the Celtics. I think he's going to fit in seamlessly defensively. Another thing about Brogdon, other than his size, is that with this team, I feel like he's going to be able to really I'm sorry, I'm looking something up here, but he's going to be able to really move as a sixth man. Brad Stevens already said that he thinks he's going to be a sixth man coming off the bench. So, more power to him. I love this move almost as much as I love Danilo Gallinari. And what he is going to do for this Boston Celtics team off the bench. This is a guy that is probably he got the mid-level exception, which is, it was like, what is it? It's $8 million, I think, for the tax teams. So he got $8 million a year. It's the guy that averaged 25 minutes per game. In those 25 minutes, he averaged 11 points, 43% field goal percentage from 2, 38 from 3. That's going to go up with the Jays. and as a spot-up shooter. So I look for Danilo Gallinari to make a huge difference during the regular season. I don't know how playable he's going to be in the offseason because he is a weak link on defense. But maybe if you mix him in with Horford, Grant Williams to protect the paint a little bit, we might be all right. So I love the signing of Gallinari. I love the trade for Brogdon, especially looking at what you gave up for him. I'm going to let A-Rod go.
All right. As a Knicks fan looking at all this, I have no dog in this fight. All I can say is, I think the Celtics honestly got better because I feel like their weakness and their Achilles heel was their bench. They had like nobody worth a shit except Grant Williams really coming off the bench and
Pritchard.
Derek White a little bit. That's about. Pritchard was just running around in circles. That's
They
all.
were so happy to get rid of Pritchard for this deal.
He's still
So-
there, but he's probably going to be at the back end of the bench.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was included in the deal.
Nah, he
Nah.
wasn't. Kept him. We got
They gave up-
literally all guys we never played in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, they gave away literally anything in their pocket, like lint, old
Yeah.
You want
fucking
this
button.
paperclip?
anything. Yeah,
Got you a
it's
dollar.
ridiculous. Yeah. So looking at it as a Knicks fan, I'm still like we were dog. Let's be honest, all of us were dogging the Celtics beginning of the season. Like they weren't looking good. They weren't gelling together. We were talking about this tandem of Tatum and Brown. Someone's got to go. But it worked out for the better, obviously. You guys went to the finals. You lost. You got your experience. It's there. We drafted Danilo Gallinari, and we gave him up for Carmelo Anthony. And I thought that was a good trade at the time. I'm still not upset with that trade. I like Danilo Gallinari. He brings a lot of offense to the team. He's a coachable player. He likes to learn. He's a good locker room guy, speaks his mind. And I think he's going to fit well with the Celtics. And Malcolm Brogdon, I always felt he was a good player, undervalued. He just can't stay healthy. When they traded Tyrese Halliburton to the Pacers, I was like, this is kind of the same guy in my opinion.
Correct.
So these two guys cannot you can't have the same guys on the team. You gotta get rid of one. And Malcolm Brogdon obviously got the shorter end of the stick, and it's a steal for the Celtics. So congratulations, you did good there. As a Knicks fan, I'm scared of everything. I just want them to win games. I just want them to win the playoff or go to the playoffs and win a series. That's my what I want for them. I can't say I want a championship. I'm not that guy. It's not a championship caliber team unless we start trading for the right pieces. Donovan Mitchell could be available. We could get him. That'd be awesome. I would love to see him in a Knicks uniform. But what do we give up if that's the case? That's what would scare me. But Wild West has been brought in to be the president of operations, and I need to see him make some moves because the Jalen Brunson thing, it's a great sign, but I think it's overpriced. You paid too much for the guy, and then you got fined on top of it for tampering because we all knew that was going to happen. That shit was happening during the NBA season. That shit was going on during the playoffs. They were talking about this shit. Then they just started moving guys you're not seeing this going on. Nobody knows what we're doing over here, and everybody saw the strings being pulled there. So I don't know. I as a Knicks fan, once again, congratulations, but like I said, I have no dog in this fight. You're gonna mop us up unless RJ Barrett hits that corner three to win it. So
Yeah. But all right, KK, you had messaged me, or you tweeted both me and Vic when it happened. I think I had just finished my run. I was driving home to get on a plane to go to Vegas, and you had sent that message, and I started freaking out. So, KK, what were your original thoughts when you saw the details of the Brogdon deal and Gallinari?
Yeah, if Brogdon was in that series that they played against the Golden State Warriors, I'm pretty confident you guys probably would have won that championship.
Yeah.
I think where they failed was, and it's kind of crazy because how I feel about Marcus Smart kind of changes every day, but
Same.
as good as a defender as he is, he got cooked.
he's like a good bear, but the small guy.
He got cooked, and he didn't offer as much consistently on an offensive end. So I think they needed somebody like a Brogdon, kind of just to kind of pace the other guys, because Jason Tatum, this is his first NBA Finals. You're asking a lot of a kid to just go be great and go be a three-time defending champion. And then Jalen Brown can't dribble to save his life. So
Jesus.
And he's trying to create for himself as well. So you need somebody who has the ability to create for everybody, because Marcus Smart his ability is to lock up the person on the other end, and then hit a couple of big big threes when you don't expect them, kind of thing. Whereas Brogdon is like an all around kind of player. But Vic, let me
When
ask
healthy.
you something.
When healthy.
You went healthy, and that's what I'm going to say. Vic, let me ask you something. You did it with Kyrie. Over under 60 games that Brogdon has played in the last 3 seasons.
It's under. It's the most.
All been under.
Yeah.
And what was the highest for Kyrie?
54.
And what's the highest for Brogdon is 56, and then 54, and then 36.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the kicker. It's if he's not healthy, then what was it's going to be the same same old thing, same old.
Well, if you also look at the amount of minutes that Brogdon averaged with the Pacers, he was those 3 years he was with the Pacers, he averaged above 30 minutes a game. With the Celtics, he's not going to be above 26, I don't think. And with the Bucks, 28, 29, 26. So, and he played 64 games, 48 games, 75 games with the Bucks. So I see that. I see him going back to that with a 3-guard rotation. Derek, I'm sorry, I interrupt you, K-Rod.
No, you're fine.
But I see them going back to that. So, that's why I'm more bullish on Brogdon than I normally would be, because I totally agree with you. The best ability is availability.
Right. And again, him, the player, perfect fit for what this team probably needs. Mm-hmm. I think. And again, back to the I haven't really talked about the NBA Finals. If Jason Tatum's shoulder was fine, if Smart was a little healthier, if Robert Williams was a little healthier,
Mm-hmm.
I think it would have been a different kind of outcome. Kudos to Golden State for the victory. But I think you guys kind of just limped into this NBA Finals with having to deal with Miami for 7 games, having to deal with Giannis for 7 games.
Yeah.
Even only 4 games with KD and Kyrie all felt kind of like a lot because it was
every
KD
game was
and
tight.
Kyrie. So what you guys need a full roster of available players. So it's going to help with that aspect of it, because you're going to have somebody who's like A-Rod's, like somebody who's worth the shit to kind of fill that role. So and then look at it from my perspective as a Sixers fan. I mean, if I fear? I mean, of course I'm still fear you guys. You guys are you're number 2 seed, right? Last season had the first or second best record from January on. You beat a lot of great teams to get to the situation that you're in. Jason Tatum was budding into a young superstar, and you got to figure things out. You guys are buying into what Udoka is saying. So of course it all looks beautiful for now, but we're just waiting for the big Joker to come to Philly, and then we'll put all that to bed. And I'm not saying Joker as in Jokovic or Jokic or anything. I'm saying just we have something up our sleeves that we'll just wait on. Just wait.
Like the villain, the Joker. Like, is he gonna kill
like the Kevin Durant, like the Slim Reaper? If he wants to leave Brooklyn, just come on down. Come on down to Iowa, 95 or whatever. And
apparently Tyrese Maxey was unavailable. That's what.
He's definitely unavailable. Hey, Tyrese Maxey is the next great superstar. Okay, I'm gonna say it right now. If we allow him to be, if he gets his own team, that's another story. But if we allow him to be a superstar, it is over for you guys.
We're going to get to the Philadelphia Rockets in a little bit. Don't worry. We're going to get to the Philadelphia Rockets.
I know that's what you did there.
I just have one last thing, Sammy, on Gallinari and Brogdon. And I'm sorry it took me so long. I was trying to pull the tracking stats. So I already told you guys, Malcolm Brogdon. I'm just going to use the 2020 to 2021 stats because they are he played 56 games last season. So he shot
2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. He shot 38% from 3, 45% from the field. But that's not going to really be his role with the Celtics, in my opinion. His catch and shoot 3 was 44%. His 0 dribble 3-point field goal percentage was 43%. His open, that's 4 to 6 feet or 6 feet and higher, field goal percentage was 40% from 3, and his touch less than 2 seconds from 3, 42%. Now we go to Gallinari, look at his tracking stats. 0 dribbles, 3 percentage, 42%. Catch and shoot percentage, 41.9%. I mean, this is a guy that's going to be wide open when he's playing with the Jays. 45% from 3. And his touch less than 2 seconds, 40% from 3. These are 2 guys that are literally They have played in big games, right? And we need them to make buckets, not only off the bench, but also in crunch time. The biggest issue with the Celtics when they were playing with the Warriors is that Jason and Jalen weren't making buckets.
Nobody
and
else
it
was.
wasn't a crazy Grant game, and it wasn't a crazy Horford game. Nobody else was, and we were in trouble. So I think they've addressed that, and I think the Boston Celtics are my favorite to win the NBA championship this year.
You would take
Why?
that.
We're doing
So-
this now. Okay. All right. We don't even know where Kevin Durant's going to end up.
Yeah,
Kevin
exactly.
Durant will be a net. I told you, he's going to be a net for the whole year. He's not going anywhere.
I know this is like a numbers show. I know Vic's all about his numbers and things like. I'd be excited about those signings too, because I always thought Malcolm Brogdon was very underappreciated everywhere he's been. I always thought Milwaukee should have re-signed him, but they let him walk, and he went to Indiana and played like 90 games there, whatever it was, and just fell into the Indiana cesspool that it is. And Danilo Gallinari's always been on a contending team. They see his value, so you're gonna get value out of these two guys, but. Let's pump the brakes a little bit. The Slim Reaper's still chilling right now, not responding to anybody. If there's anybody I don't like next to Kyrie is Kevin Durant, because I just don't think he has a backbone. I just think he just wants to poop. That's all he wants to do. Doesn't want to be a leader, but wherever he ends up, it's gonna be with a contender. He ain't going to freaking Indiana. He's not going to Sacramento.
He's gonna end up with Brooklyn. He's gonna be the signings that Brooklyn made, and the fact that they haven't fired Steve Nash yet, all indicate that Kevin Durant is starting the year at Brooklyn, and in my opinion, I think he's going to end the year at Brooklyn.
And keep in mind, with that team that they currently have in Brooklyn, if he does stay, they're still a very good basketball team. I mean, Joe Harris got hurt last year, and he's going to obviously make a difference. The young guys like Cam and them are starting to kind of figure out basketball. They picked up Warren from Indiana, which is a great signing. Ben Simmons, we don't know what's left of him, but if he's healthy, he's going to give you 15, 8, and 8. At the end of the day, he's going to give you 15, 8, and 8. Is he not?
Ben Simmons is trash. I'd rather have Kyle Kuzma than Ben Simmons.
And NBA.
How did we get back to Brooklyn?
NBA also.
We don't know what's going to happen with Durant, obviously, and that's the thing. But I'm gonna just look. I should be the biggest Ben Simmons hater in the world for how he did not dunk the ball against Trae Young. And Gallinari was on that team, by the way, so go figure.
This was their whole plan. Their whole plan was to start all this nonsense, so everybody on the entire world is going to talk about Brooklyn. That's what they wanted.
And it could be a ploy. It could just be a ploy. But Sam Presti, not Sam Presti, Pelinka and the GM for Brooklyn, his name was my mind. They were at the summer league. They were chit-chatting.
Besides the owner, it's Sean Marks.
Sean Marks.
Yeah. Well, either one of those two. They were talking to Pelinka at length at a summer league game. So clearly something is there. And then Kyrie's at an LA Sparks game. That wasn't a coincidence. Obviously, he's been chilling in LA for a little while. So there's something brewing there.
I think Kyrie goes. I think Kyrie ends up going. I think Kevin Durant's going to end up in Brooklyn holding the bag. He's going to be by himself in Brooklyn.
So you as a Celtics fan, you're not going to be a little fearful of that team if they're cohesive? They played the whole season together.
Nah, he's soft. He's soft as baby shit. I'm not afraid of Kevin Durant.
You're not afraid of Kevin Durant?
Nah.
We swept him with a less roster.
Let me know what's in your your
drink
or whatever you're smoking, because damn, Kevin Durant is still Kevin Durant.
When has Kevin Durant won anything by himself?
Oh,
well, when has anybody ever won anything by themselves?
A lot of times. I mean, Giannis just did it.
Giannis?
Kawhi Leonard just did it.
And so, if Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday were not there, you think Giannis would still win that championship?
I mean, of course, there's supporting players there, but Giannis was the guy. Giannis has that dog in him. He has sex with MILFs. That's what Giannis does.
That's Zach Wilson.
Zach Wilson?
It's getting twisted there.
Did you say Zach Wilson?
Yeah, Zach Wilson has that dog in him too.
He got that dog in him.
Yeah,
for real.
Yeah, you do. So,
in conclusion, I'll still be a little fearful of Brooklyn. A little bit fearful of Brooklyn.
Yo, you can't be. Okay, so I'm sorry.
You're arguing with Northeasterners right here. They're not going to tell you no to Kevin Durant. They just swept him. Come on, man. I'd be the same way. If the Knicks stuck out that trash, I'd be the same way. But hell, I'm afraid of the motherfucker, man.
I mean, LeBron got swept. Are you not? No one's fearful of LeBron no more?
Nah.
I'm afraid of LeBron too.
Shaquille O'Neal got swept like 10 times in his career. No one was fearful of Shaquille O'Neal.
Shaquille O'Neal is different.
Oh my God! All right, Sammy.
He
please-
played
And
for
I
the
think
Celtics.
LeBron
James,
James
come
is
on.
different.
Please get us
So
back in line,
I think
please.
LeBron James is very different too. So
Now,
You're asking the wrong person.
LeBron James out west though, Sammy. That's I'm scared. You know, here's my ranking of scared as shit players. Victor's scared as shit players. If the Celtics play them in a series,
Giannis.
number one,
Okay.
Steph Curry, no doubt in my mind. Every single time that guy put up a fucking shot, I shit my pants. Okay. Number two, Jimmy Butler. I don't know why. I'm so scared of that guy.
And Giannis. Let me guess. Giannis will be the third.
Yeah, of course.
The refs in a Giannis series.
The guy
That's what it is.
said we had to go seven.
Out of
games.
all those players,
Lost
my
to five.
scared shitless is Giannis. Giannis scares the hell out of me. If my team's going against Giannis, you gotta make sure you lift a lot of weights that week. Make sure your body is okay to deal with that physical force coming at you.
I have nightmares about Steph Curry draining threes in my room just in front of me, laughing.
Man, listen, that little light skinned boy, you just got to hit him a couple of times. Just put him on his ass. He'll be all right.
No, and he's got an awesome ABC show called Holy Moly. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it, but it's incredible.
All right, hold
Yeah,
on.
I'm not wasting
All
my-
right,
I'm
before
not
we
wasting
before
my-
we before we
any
get
time
too
doing
far
that.
off the rails here. So before we move on from the Celtics, Vic kind of touched on it already. He says the Celtics are his early East favorites. I want to hear what you guys have to think about
Early
that.
NBA favorites. I mean, don't twist my words. I said early favorites to win the NBA championship.
Oh, we're going all the way there. Okay.
Okay. Well, I wasn't gonna go there. Don't far too far off that wagon, KK and A-Rod. I'm sticking with the East for right now. Are the Boston Celtics the East favorites? And maybe I'm asking the wrong thing. I should probably ask Vic this question, and you guys can chime in too. So, are they your East favorites? And what are your expectations as far as how many wins this team can achieve this year with this roster construction? Vic, go first.
Is this thing working? They're going to win the championship.
Okay.
They're the best team in the NBA.
How many wins? 82?
Crazy, come on, dude. Sammy, I really think this can be. I think this can be a 64-win team.
Okay. Hey, Rod. I know you hate talking Boston teams. We'll move on in a second.
And that's fine. It all depends on where Kevin Durant goes, man. Kevin Durant is like the floating thing right now. If Kevin Durant goes to Miami, like, y'all are done. Like, hang it up.
Yeah, Vic. Honestly, if he goes to Miami, let's be real.
Goes to Miami
He's
for
the
what?
scariest player, Jimmy Butler.
30 picks? No! They're not trading Kevin Durant for Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson, and piece of shit Kyle Lowry. Come on.
Like, we've seen crazy shit happen in the offseason, okay? Rudy Gobert just got traded for 5 years of draft picks and budding stars. We've
Rudy
seen Russell
Gobert.
Westbrook move to the Lakers, and it not work.
Rudy
Like,
Gobert.
anything is possible. So
They
all I'm
literally
saying-
just watched him play a series where he was unplayable in a playoff series. Your defensive player of the year was untradeable, and they traded him for 5 future first-round picks and multiple players.
Yeah, but
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to
Less
that.
than
We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that.
All right. So if you're asking me,
I should have started with Rudy Gobert. I made a mistake.
If you're asking me starting in the East right now, I'm picking the Celtics. Like, it's a well-tooled
easy.
roster. I would agree. But it all hangs on Kevin Durant, and my sleeper is the Atlanta Hawks, man. The Atlanta Hawks are making moves too, so be afraid.
What
Yeah, I'm asleep
what
on
are
that
your
one for sure.
expectations as
No
an
hair.
NBA fan, A-Rod,
All right, man.
for the
If
wins?
I had to pick wins, 60s, I would say like 62,
Okay.
64.
Yeah, good.
KK, I know you're
All
a
right.
little more invested because you're a Sixers fan. So
I'm
I
an
don't even
extent
think
they
we're
suck.
winning the East as presently constructed. Okay, we're going off of presently constructed. I'm still picking Milwaukee. Y'all,
Oh yeah,
look,
I'm a-
Milwaukee,
Did they get better? Did they get
Milwaukee
better?
took y'all 7 games without Chris Middleton.
Did they get
Did you
better?
hear what I just said?
I would like to redact my.
Bill
I would like to
Williams.
redact my pick. I'm picking Milwaukee.
Milwaukee
Bill
took y'all
Williams.
7 games without Chris Middleton.
Yo,
Okay.
you don't think that Malcolm Brogdon revenge is going to come into factor? Like,
Bro,
y'all crazy.
No, if
Is
if,
this working?
If Chris Middleton was
Is
on
my
the
microphone
game,
working?
game.
Chris Middleton took y'all. I mean, Milwaukee took y'all 7 games without Chris Middleton.
Listen, it's not going to be a cakewalk for Boston to just go win the East again. First of all, we all know how hard it is. I mean, look at the Eastern Conference since LeBron has left. It's been a different team every single year. Toronto had their year. Who was it? Miami had their year. I mean, it's been a different team. Boston, obviously, Milwaukee. I think Giannis is the best player in the Eastern Conference. I think Giannis is the best player in the NBA. If you want to put a gun to my head, I think he's the most dominant player in the NBA currently, right? Yes. So you have that. Drew Holiday is still. I mean, Drew Holiday cancels out anything that Malcolm Brogdon could do. Let's keep it real. And then Chris Middleton. I mean, he was the closer for Milwaukee. I mean, if we're going to be honest here, he was the closer. So they kept Bobby Portis. I mean, to me, Milwaukee's still the what they lost though was PJ. We got PJ Tucker now from Miami and way of Milwaukee. So that PJ Tucker loss, I think, hurt them a lot last year. I think once they kind of navigate towards how to replace that kind of a player, and just it might not be one player, it might be multiple players, but at the end of the day, as of right now, I'm gonna ride with Giannis. I think he's coming back even hungrier. I mean, he hasn't fallen off at all in any statistical category. He's getting better every year. He's still in his prime. Was he 27? I mean, that's scary. He's literally entering his prime right now. I'm gonna take a as presently constructed. I'm gonna rock with Milwaukee and think they're gonna make a little comeback to the NBA Finals next year.
So you got Milwaukee. Milwaukee, Boston, Miami as it's currently constructed. I'm assuming, or Philly, Philly third.
I have it Milwaukee, Boston, Philly, Miami.
Okay.
Because
Makes
Miami
sense.
just lost PJ Tucker, and
Right.
I think that's a bigger piece that, you guys are analytical people. You realize, with the impact, one singular player, he may not average 20 points or 20 rebounds.
Especially in the playoffs.
But his little 7 points and 3 assists and 7 rebounds, locking up the other team's better player and this, that, and the third. And just the impact he has on the huddle.
There's a crunch time
I think
plays,
that loss is going to hurt Miami a lot.
Okay.
So
that makes
unless
sense.
they're getting Donovan Mitchell, Kevin Durant, then I'm putting them behind Philly right now.
So are you saying around 50 wins then, or 60
for Boston? I mean, so 50 wins would be 32 losses. I don't think you guys are losing 32 times. So, I'll put you guys around 56.
Okay.
About 56 wins.
fair.
56 to 26 seems pretty right. I think Milwaukee goes 59 wins. You guys go 56. We go 55. And it'd be like that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say 66 wins, Vic, just because of the 2008 team, but I don't want to go there. But I do like the way this roster is constructed.
And I still like the roster. Just as of right now, Giannis.
Jason Tatum, and I will say this: I'm going to agree with you with the Milwaukee take, only because of this, right? Yes, we did get better. Jason Tatum left a lot to be desired when it mattered, and that's a fair assessment. Yeah, he's going to get better, but I'm not going to fault somebody for going with Giannis, who's tremendous when it matters, right? Tremendous, absolutely tremendous when it matters. So
yeah, the Raptors are tremendous. Yeah,
I mean, we saw it firsthand. He needed to drop 50 in a closeout game. He made all them damn free throws, and he's a horrible free throw shooter. That is somebody who comes
Robert
through
Williams
when they
barely
need
played
him.
that series, guys. I understand the Chris Middleton thing, but Marcus Smart also missed games that series. I don't want to hear about Chris Middleton missed. We had guys on too. All right, this is enough.
all right.
I've heard it from everybody.
Chris Middleton is an all-star.
So is Marcus Smart's the defensive player of the year.
So is Rudy
I
Gobert.
couldn't tell. I could not tell.
Speaking of Rudy Gobert,
We're just now getting to Rudy Gobert.
here we are.
Robert, jeez.
Fucking Brooklyn, man. Fucking Brooklyn. Speaking of Rudy Gobert, so the Utah Jazz trade away Rudy Gobert. Minnesota gets Rudy Gobert, and they give up Malik Beasley, Patrick Beverly, Walker Kessler, Jared Vanderbilt, Leandro Bolmaro, and first-round picks in 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029, plus a 2026 pick swap. That is insane. I'm going to do my best win horse. What is happening in Utah?
The fire
Who wants to
sale,
go
that's what's
first?
going I'll take.
go. Let me go real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to keep. I've been on record saying this for a couple of years now about how I feel about Rudy Gobert, and it's not changed at all. He's the most overrated basketball player I've ever seen in my entire life. The fact that he's won that many Defensive Player of the Year and he's unplayable in a playoff game when you need him the most, unplayable. Like he had Max Kleber hitting 8 threes because he can't run out and defend a 3 in 2022. You cannot do that. It doesn't work like that anymore. You have to be. I mean, Al Horford looks slow and big, and his ass goes out there and chases after 3-point shots. And Gobert, he seems slender. He seems like he should be in shape. He can't do anything but block shots, which is a great trait to have. But I'm not paying somebody $250 million to go block three shots at the game, and you don't have no offensive talent whatsoever. None of that stuff. So the only thing the 2 things that I got out of this, Karl Anthony Towns, if you do fantasy basketball, that is somebody you should pick up because all he's going to be asked to do is go score 35 points.
Yo, A-Rod, how was that video I sent you?
Karl Anthony Towns is going to go out there and just that kid, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all it's going to be. Karl Anthony Towns can go out there and just dominate offensively. And then Anthony Edwards, this should free him up a little bit. So offensively and defensively, it looks better on paper, but that's not the person that they needed to move the needle, in my opinion. I want
to touch on that point.
Yeah, all right, yeah. Let me hear what you.
I want to touch on that point.
Take it from there.
Because
take it from there.
I think you're touching on like kind of what I want to say too. So I apologize for like interrupting, but I kind of wanted to add to what you're saying.
Take it from there.
Like, yeah. I think Minnesota is trying to prove to their organization, to the players, to also the fans that they are trying to build around this nucleus that they have, right? Cat, Anthony Edwards. And I agree with you 100%. I don't think Rudy Gobert is that guy that's worth leveraging your entire future for these guys. And I get on one end where Minnesota wanted to address their defensive needs, as my cat is freaking out right now. But in my eyes too, I think it's really strange that I think Minnesota's in a little bit of a bind that they're loyal to both Edwards and Cat, and these are 2 totally different timelines that we're looking at. And I think in retrospect, like they're gonna hate themselves because they should really focus on the Edwards timeline and not so much the Cat timeline. And you can call me crazy for saying that, but I really think they were trying to find a little bit of both with this Gobert move. And I think it's really going to screw them in the long haul. And I think Danny Ainge, again, like Victor said, like I don't know why anybody would want to trade with Danny Ainge. But anyway, KK, continue. I hope I was touching on what you were going to get to. But.
So you got to where I was going to get to. Like Anthony Edwards should be the future of that team. Like it should revolve around because Cat's been there long enough and he's proven that he can score points and that's it. When it matters most, he folds. He's kind of soft. He folds. He gets punked a lot. I mean, one game he'll drop 35 and then he'll have 7. Makes no sense and foul out of the playoff game. Like that cannot happen. So they need to build around Anthony Kermit Edwards. If you guys did not watch, what's that movie? The movie with Adam Sandler.
Incredible. Hustle.
Yeah, Hustle. Incredible movie. Anthony Edwards is phenomenal in that movie. Definitely check that out. But anyway. Yeah, they should build around Kermit. Like he's the guy that they need to build around. I mean, they lost. It's like what they did was they traded away Patrick Beverley for Rudy Gobert. That's exactly what happened. And what happened to him last year? They still got bounced in the first round.
That's what I mean.
Let me pick up from there.
It doesn't change anything. Like if, for example, if they would have went and got a Malcolm Brogdon, for example, all right, that's a smart move. And you know who I blame, A-Rod? Because I'm going to pass it to you real quick. I blame Alex Rodriguez. A-Rod. He's part owner of the team. I'm pretty sure he was like, yeah, let's do that. That French guy. He won Defensive Player of the Year. Yeah, let's go get him.
I think
A-Rod.
I wouldn't pull that trigger just yet. Minnesota's been missing an identity for a long time. And when they drafted Cat, they hit a home run with it, but they didn't put anything around him. They went and got KG again to try and they did, but like they kind of gave up on Wiggins. Obviously, they sent him in part of the trade to.
They had Jimmy Butler.
Yeah, Well, I'm getting to that.
Okay.
Let me
My
get
bad.
guys.
I'm just saying they've had opportunities and done nothing.
They've given the opportunities, but like it just doesn't work, and they blow it up trying to think something will work. They obviously brought in Jimmy Butler. He wanted out. He cooked the starters with the third unit, and proved how Cat is very soft. I always thought Andrew Wiggins was a good player. It didn't work well with Cat, and it worked well in Golden State, and now everybody's not having to put Andrew Wiggins as a bust. They brought in KG to try and mentor him. He didn't put any like, toughness in the guy. The three ball is what it is now. So now you're going to see Cat shooting more threes now. Cat's, rebounds are probably going to go down, and you're going to see him more on the perimeter now. And that's the type of game that you're going to get. Exactly. And the identity thing, like you just said, trading Rudy Gobert for Patrick Beverley. Patrick Beverley was that identity for them. He put fear in like those guys' hearts. He rallied the troops. He's what me and KK always say that you need on your team is veteran leadership. And as much as, Patrick Beverley is crazy in his own mind about things, he's still a dog on the court. And he gets things done. Now, the real question is D'Angelo Russell. What are we going to do with D'Angelo Russell? Because D'Angelo Russell a couple years ago was this budding star, and he had a great season in Brooklyn. They sent him to Golden State for whatever it was there, and he was just trade bait. And they send him to Minnesota because Cat really wanted him. Well, Anthony Edwards is a real deal. Anthony Edwards is going to be a big time star.
He's a dog.
In the next. He's a dog. He's already got a movie contract. Like, he's a dog. He's a good player. So I'm looking, if I were Minnesota, and I'm thinking logic on this, I know they wanted to work with D'Angelo Russell, but I don't see any like spark in D'Angelo Russell. I don't feel like anything's there. Like, he's just like, I'm showing up to get a check and I'll play wherever I play, but I don't see like I want to take leadership. I want to be known, this and that. So I think getting Rudy Gobert, like it's a bad move. I mean, yeah, you're going to be maybe a little better defensively or whatever they think they were, but that wasn't their identity crisis. I think their identity crisis that they're solving now is getting big name players, and they're jamming all these big name players together. And I honestly don't think it's going to work. I think you're taking Cat out of his element, and just because he won a 3-point shooting contest, we're happy to see a big man win a 3-point shooting contest. But come on, man, not everybody can become Golden State. It's not going to work. And kudos to Danny Ainge, who already wins, the executive of the year in my books, because
wow.
That's a guy I'm never calling. If I get a phone call and I see Utah's calling, I'm like, Dwayne, what's up? Oh shit, it's Danny. God damn. I'm not picking that shit up, man. Like, Danny Ainge is fleecing people left and right for anything they can get, man. He's the fleece master, man. So you got to give him his props. And back to the topic of what's going on in Utah, it's a fire sale. And I know what's the big dude's name? Winehurst, when he went on ESPN to talk. Exactly. As soon as I was in the same boat as him, as soon as I saw Royce O'Neal leave, I was like, dude, something is up. There is no way you let go of a guy who's knows it exactly for a first round pick and knows his role with the organization. He never oversteps anybody, and he plays his role. Yeah, he averages like 6 points a game, but he's definitely present. He's like Finney Smith on the Mavericks.
He's
not a great, but he's a great role player. And you get rid of him. And the same thing happened when they got rid of Joe Ingles last year. I was like, something is up.
Yep, that's the one.
I was like, something is up, because Joe Ingles, like me and KK said all the time, Joe Ingles is a great basketball player. He under the radar scores like 15 points a game and is good defensively and is everywhere you need this guy to be. But you got rid of him, there's something brewing in Utah, and it's a rebuild mode. And now Donovan Mitchell's name is being thrown out. Now Danny Ainge is, he's smoked his cigar. He went on his little 5-day vacation to freaking Tulum. And now he's saying, okay, Donovan, what y'all got for me? Let me hear it. And the Knicks are just trying to put whatever shit they can stick to the wall to try and make it happen. The Heat are probably in it. Every team is in it trying to get it, because they know there's a fire sale in Utah, as there should be. Nobody wants to go out to Utah to play basketball. Their colors are boring. They have no identity either.
I like the jerseys.
They have no identity.
Utah's? Utah's jerseys are straight.
They are, but it's like what's his face said on the documentary. Their jerseys are whack. All of that is whack, and they don't have identity. They have like 10 jerseys every year. Like, why is it Jazz in Utah? Why aren't they like the Snow Caps or something like that,
Mormons.
or the Polar Bears?
Well,
They used to be the same. They used to be in New Orleans.
I know that, you can thank that, but at the same time, like, let's get some rebranding going on. Let's get something going on with this organization, because it's not desirable to play in Utah. You had the foundation, and you literally just dropped everything, man. If I'm Mike Conley, I'm thinking I'm next. I'm thinking I'm the next one on the move. So
I wrote
Utah's
this
not-
up. I wrote this up at around noon before the news came out about Donovan Mitchell. So I said I was going to make a point saying Danny Ainge is either clearly set on rebuilding like completely from the ground up, or he's set on rebuilding with a better squad around Donovan Mitchell. And now with Gobert gone and the picks, he has options. But then around, I think it was like 4:30 or 5:30 p.m., Wojnarowski came out and said that Utah is fielding all trade options for Donovan Mitchell. And I know Vic hates this, and I know Vic hates Twitter and everything that comes out on Twitter. But no, I meant like this comment. If I'm Miami, if I'm Miami, I am absolutely calling Danny Ainge and offering anything I can for Donovan Mitchell. I think that is a player that could definitely move the needle for the Miami Heat. That's me speaking outside of the Boston Celtics fandom. Being a Boston Celtics fan, fuck Miami. I hope they don't do it. But as an NBA fan, as somebody who understands what they were missing, I think that would help them move the needle. But
Immensely, I 1,000% agree.
Or the Knicks, if the Knicks want to add another point guard.
The thing, it won't move the needle the same way with the Knicks as it would move. I mean, the Heat are the number one seed, and then they get a Donovan Mitchell. That's crazy, right? The Knicks are struggling to make the playoffs every year, so it's like
identity. We have identity issues, just like I said about the other two teams.
It'll make the Knicks a lot more watchable. It'll make the Knicks a little bit more of a threat to at least make the playoffs and do something. But I don't think it moves the needle the same way it moves the needle for Miami. But the thing about Utah, and it's the funny thing about Utah that people kind of don't realize, Utah very rarely does full rebuilds. I looked up the stat the other day.
Exactly. Yes.
Out of all the teams in the NBA, the Utah Jazz, out of all the teams that have played at least 1,000 games, the Utah Jazz have the fourth highest winning percentage. They have a 54.5% winning percentage behind San Antonio, Los Angeles, and Boston. So that's not a team that is used to just, sucking for a few years, right? So I think it will be wise of Danny Ainge to get a Donovan Mitchell who's like just really. I think they need to make Donovan Mitchell kind of look at the Damian Lillard situation, not in the negative aspect where they haven't won anything, but how loyal Damian Lillard is to Portland, in which they're willing to do whatever to make Damian Lillard happy, right? And to the point, they just extended him for 2 years, $120 million.
Right.
Whatever it takes, we're going to keep you here to make you happy. I think Donovan Mitchell can carve out, like, especially with Dwayne Wade being in Utah, that's the perfect human being he needs to be around for the rest of his career. Because
we're talking about Danny Ainge, though, man. He's all in on Wembanyama. I can already tell.
Danny Ainge held on to picks for years. Yeah. All those picks he acquired in Boston and never did a damn thing with it. Okay,
never did a damn thing. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown,
this entire team was his.
That was all great draft picks. But like when you're able to use that ammo to trade for, like, Anthony Davis could have been a Boston Celtics. I mean, that's a neither here nor there. But I get it. But like they acquire all these picks and don't do really much with them except draft well, which is fantastic. But you can't always just rely on the draft to get you there. And especially with Utah, if you have a Donovan Mitchell in the building, I don't know what they can get in return that's going to attract people to want to come play with said person in Utah. So Donovan Mitchell, they should try to build around Donovan Mitchell. They have a lot of ammo to build around. I mean, this is a team that wins a lot of games. I mean, they were just, a top 4 seed again last year? Like, they're not a team that loses. So, you botched it with John Stockton and Karl Malone, but you got yourself a couple of Western Conference championships. You botched it with Carlos Boozer. You botched it with Darren Williams. You're botching it right now. Just don't completely botch it. I think hold on to your superstar player for a little bit longer and see if you can get another 3 or 4 years. And then if it's not looking good in 3 or 4 years, you do what Minnesota did with KG and say, bro, just go win a championship somewhere. We love you.
I think Danny Ainge has the best mantra. Everything is negotiable. Everything. Right. Everybody's available for the right price.
The reports didn't flat out said Utah Jazz are fielding offers. They said they are more open to fielding options. So it's not like they flat out said, "All right, guys, call me."
It's on the board. Yeah.
They probably heard a voicemail where it was kind of crazy. Like, all right, I mean, let's at least listen to these conversations and just see what we can do. But I don't know. Everything's negotiable, but I like Donovan. I think he should try to build something in Utah, like Damian Lillard's trying to do in Portland.
Yeah,
I agree with
A-Rod Smoke.
And I think Donovan wants to be the center player there. Like, I think with Rudy Gobert there was obviously head bashing, and they were trying to cover it up, and obviously the COVID incident happened, and nobody knew how to handle it at the time. And Rudy Gobert I don't think they on paper they looked well together, but together in the locker room they probably just like were butting heads all the time of who should be the center of the team. And I think Donovan wants to be that. Now that we've got Rudy out of the house, now we can put somebody in it that can try and be there. And I think it's Donovan's team now. You experiment with this and see where it goes, but at the end of the day, we'll find out what type of player Donovan Mitchell is. Is he a loyal guy, or does he want to bag, or does he want to win? I see if Donovan Mitchell stays with the Utah Jazz, I see him as one of the leading scorers in the league next year in points for sure. So, but I wish him the best. I wish he comes to New York. I'm just scared to see what we give up for him. But I need Leon Rose to make some moves, man. Like this this Brunson shit ain't it for me, man. So
we'll see.
But all right, moving on.
We'll see.
Milwaukee got Joe Ingles. I don't know if any of you guys want to touch on that one. I think that was it's a significant move in a sense that is a solid role player at shooting, playmaking depth, obviously plays good defense. So
Didn't he almost die?
yeah, he almost died.
Yeah. So, like, I don't give a shit. Like, the guy almost died. You think
replaces PJ Tucker, no problem.
Yeah.
You good.
Listen, I would just say the one thing that Milwaukee did right this summer that I was really, really impressed with was the contract that they gave to Bobby Portis. It was like they got him for
peanuts.
Super cheap. I don't know how Bobby Portis either fired
got you $1
ASAP. What was the contract?
Why? He wanted to be there. He said he wanted to be there.
Yeah,
he wanted to be in Milwaukee.
It's Bobby's world.
Bro, that was a small contract. Like that's a baby contract.
That's why he wanted.
It was like 3 years, 15 or something like that. Something tiny.
Yeah, this dude is
Bobby Portis wants.
I don't know, but that's just me. Me. Milwaukee definitely got the better end of that deal, getting him for that price tag.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my big takeaway from Milwaukee this summer.
Well, when you become a good team like that, you get those players for cheap.
True.
Like the Celtics got Danilo Gallinari for the MLE. Danilo.
Like Golden State.
So KK's team, the Philadelphia 76ers, add more ex-Houston Rockets players. They get both PJ Tucker
And one on the radar.
and Daniel House Jr. And they have apparently another one.
3 and D.
So they look like the
We're gonna go get
2018
Aaron
Houston
Gordon
Rockets
too.
plus Joel Embiid. So KK, what did you think about all this?
Nothing has really. I mean, we saw, and I like the guy as a human being. He's a great human being. But Danny Green being out of the locker room, thank God. As he's a good player, but he's way past whatever little prime he ever had. He airballs so many. I mean, for a guy that makes so many threes, he airballs just as many threes. It's actually very alarming.
That's your only job.
He is. It's crazy. Like, you have one job to go shoot corner threes, and you're airballing them. I remember like that Lakers finals when LeBron kicked it out of him. It was 1-on-5, and he was wide open at the top of the key. Brick. So, Danny Green, I'm happy they're replacing PJ Tucker with him, because PJ Tucker still, at his small stature and whatever, still a better defender, a better rebounder, and those corner threes, they fall. They fall with him. So I like that move. I like that James Harden decided to take less so he can kind of help the team out. So I really do like that as well. I don't think we're done yet. So I'm marking it. If I have to do a report card, it's incomplete. I can't give it a grade just yet.
Daniel House.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're trying to we need to do something. All right, we need to do something with Tobias Harris. That's kind of where I'm at right now. Again, another player who, good player, but
doesn't fit.
I mean, we can turn that into Donovan Mitchell. I'm just saying, but I don't know if you saw that picture with Michael Rubin, but Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Donovan Mitchell, and Michael Rubin. It was beautiful. So, but
Michael
Tobias
Rubin-
Harris is $37 million contract. We can turn that into a lot of different things. We can build depth out of
Is it
that.
expiring? Is it expiring, KK? I'm sorry.
I think he has 2 years left on his deal, if I'm not mistaken.
that's
I would have to double check that. I think
Then
he has
that's
2
that
years
next
left.
year, I think. But
So not the season. The next season is when it expires. So for me, if we can get off of Tobias and either go after one superstar player like I don't know, Bradley Beal is probably out of the question now because of his contract, and I don't know if we can get a Kevin Durant, that would be fantastic. But if we either go for a big fish or turn him into 3 little fishies, then I can kind of see what we do. But as of right now, nothing's really changed. We'd probably lose in the second round again next year, as presently constructed. So.
could you trade Tobias Harris for Joe Harris and Seth Curry?
Absolutely.
Would they fit in money?
Bro,
I'm sure you have to do some money stuff,
Bro,
but I think that's the way that Philadelphia should go. Like you said, trade Tobias for a few little pieces, like Joe Harris, maybe Joe Harris and Seth Curry. I mean, if Kevin Durant stays on that team, and then you add Tobias Harris, the Nets become better. I think the Sixers become better.
If they really want to call up that Joe Harris contract, because and that's what sucks. So when we had Ben Simmons, it was kind of like LeBron James kind of thing where you just want to surround him with 3-point shooters, which was perfect for that, right? But now we have Joel Embiid, so the ball is inside, and he, everyone's trying to crash in on him to kind of triple. All the eyes are on him. And I look at this last couple series, we got rid of Seth Curry, and I remember I told A-Rod, I just wish we didn't get rid of Seth Curry when we got James Harden. Because you need somebody like that who's a 42% three-point shooter, and that's all he knows how to do. It's like Kyle Korver, those kind of guys who just know, I'm going to come in the game, I'm going to hit 5-6 threes, I'm going to untuck my shoes and everything and, go to bed. Like that, they need, and Joe Harris is the same, and Joe Harris is a pretty good defender as well.
He is.
So I'd probably be a lot more open to something like that because, egos and everything. And, we already have Embiid in the locker room. We know it's his locker room. We went and tried to get like a Bradley Beal or a Damian Lillard, all these pieces that I've been trying to get for the last couple of years. Obviously egos can come in the locker room, but I think James Harden, he showed that he's very humble by agreeing to take less. I mean, he could have very well pulled a Russell Westbrook and made 47. I mean, God, Russell Westbrook, $47 million next year. And all the stuff that people have been saying about me, he's hearing all of that, and he's still taking all the bread, which I don't fault him for. But to see what Harden done. I mean, Harden turned down a big contract from Brooklyn like a year or two ago. He turned down this big contract that he could have had right now and is taking less. He's showing that he's very selfless. And in order to win in this league, you got to have a few selfless guys. So if we can turn Tobias Harris into a Seth Curry and a Joe Harris, or a Kyle Kuzma and a KCP, or something like one of those where you get three-point shooters that can hold their own in big moments, I'd be all for that as well, for sure.
All right,
for sure.
So in the other side, Brooklyn gets Royce O'Neal from the Jazz, as we touched on, for a 2023 first-round pick. They signed T.J. Warren. I mean, I like Royce O'Neal as just a role player, but I mean, does that really move the needle for Brooklyn if they don't know what's happening with Kyrie and KD?
If we have a discussion on Royce O'Neal right now, I'm going to flip out.
No, we're definitely not. We're definitely not. So the Mavericks trade for Christian Wood on draft night. I actually really like this for Luka and the Mavs. I think it's a low-risk move. Got rid of some marginal bench guys for a proven center, which I think it proved that they needed one. But can he stay healthy, right? That's the big – I guess that should have been the title, is availability, right? Like NBA availability should have been the title of this show. The Mavs also added JaVale McGee. So, again, they kind of just paralleled two center positions to surround Luka with. I mean, anything you guys want to touch on those two?
Yeah, they're giving him good wood.
They are giving him good wood.
It's going to be some good wood out of there from Christian.
Yeah. And then the Nuggets, they get Bruce Brown, DeAndre Jordan out of free agency. They trade for KCP and Ish Smith. So, sorry, KK. KCP might be out of the question.
I was giving examples. Yeah, I knew that.
Yeah, they got cheaper depth defensively. Then they obviously got Murray and Porter Jr. coming back. Again, availability. What's the availability of these guys going to be? I thought one thing that was interesting and that, Small move, but I thought it was significant because we just saw them in the finals. The Warriors add DiVincenzo, but they lost Gary Payton the second. And
Huge.
I think that's a pretty significant loss, in my opinion, when you compare the two players. Like, I don't think maybe DiVincenzo gives you a little bit more offensively, but you lose a lot of what Gary Payton did for you throughout the regular season. And yeah, he was banged up in the playoffs after getting mauled by what's his name?
It's this.
Yeah.
It's this, right?
Yeah.
So Gary Payton's up here defensively. DiVincenzo's up here offensively. If you don't remember, DiVincenzo's a guy that the Celtics targeted.
Torched.
During the regular season. He was out during the playoffs, I believe, right? I don't think he played in the playoffs. But he's a guy that the Celtics would. I'm speaking strictly. I love NBA. I watch as many NBA games as I can. I'll be honest. I didn't watch many Bucks games other than when they played the Celtics. But
On Sacramento.
Sacramento's a great league pass team. Okay, don't sleep on Sacramento. OKC.
Hey, Keegan Murray, Rookie of the Year.
OKC is my league pass team this year, guys. I want to see Chet and I want to see Poku together on the floor, looking like two fucking giraffes that just were born. Okay, they just don't know how to fucking move. Anyway, DiVincenzo's a guy that can shoot. He definitely can't defend at Gary Payton's level, but I think he's offensively he's going to give him something that they didn't have. I think, Sammy, I'm with you. I think they lose a lot here in terms
a lot though. I don't know if it's a lot.
Yes,
What did Drunk Clay say the best? What did Drunk Clay say the best?
What?
Shoot threes and win championships. So bring them on down.
Great. But how many threes are going to go around? I mean, what he does defensively versus what he does offensively is a net negative compared to what Gary Payton did on that team. You have I don't care what Clay says. They won the championship because Robert Williams was hurt and
Andrew Wiggins played incredible defense.
Yeah. And on top of that, did you know Gary Payton Jr. was a great defender?
Yeah.
Because I didn't. I had no idea he was a great defender. I just knew he couldn't find a home.
Bro. It's in his bloodline.
You don't got to play the dad. The dad DNA is there, yes, but I had no idea. And the Warriors
guards. Our guards were in a fucking blender the whole.
I don't want to hear the excuses. You lost because the better team won. Winners win.
Yeah,
and all I can say is the Warriors get guys that you think this does not fit the mold, and they mold them in what they need them to be.
No, they get guys and then they keep them because their ownership isn't cheap as fuck and doesn't mind going in the tax.
Facts.
These guys have had the highest payroll in the NBA.
For like
People
10 years
forget
almost.
that.
$9 million. They were like 10 clear of the next team. Like people
People
don't talk about that enough.
They are in the tax over and over again. If Wick would do that, the Celtics would be in the same spot. They just have owners that are willing to pay. That's all. That's what I think about That's what I think about the Warriors. And also,
tech money.
Fuck Steph Curry. I said it. Fuck him. And
hey, listen, that tech money went along. It's like the oil money and the NIL deals in Texas.
Exactly.
That tech money in Golden State, they're like, whatever, pay for it. Because
hey,
I remember during the trade deadline, the Lakers were unwilling to go get John Wall and Christian Wood. Think about it. They could have got John Wall and Christian Wood for Russell Westbrook, but they were unwilling to go into the luxury tax to get them.
And why is that?
Do you not want to be better?
It's because the buses don't come for money, right?
Yeah,
the buses business is the Lakers.
NBA, yeah.
Mom and pop.
Right,
Yeah,
exactly. Joe Lacob, those guys, they make their money in tech.
Same with Wick.
No, but Wick's cheap as hell.
I mean, it's the same concept though. They don't own their own building. It's not like they have a side business like I think in Milwaukee and Golden State where they got these side businesses where this is play money. This is play money for Golden State and Milwaukee.
Right.
Got you $1.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. And that's what pisses me off when people shout out that narrative, the better team won. And you know what? Of course they're the better team. They pay a lot more money to be the better team.
Yeah.
And it's bullshit.
I'm with you, Vic. Trust me.
Bullshit.
I didn't want to come across as a hater. That's why I kept my mouth shut.
I am not afraid to be a hater. Fuck the Warriors. Fuck Klay Thompson's stupid ass headband.
So in the last set of news, The Los Angeles Clippers add John Wall after the buyout, so the Rockets paid him $41 million, and then the Clippers ended up paying the other $6 million on top of that. So we got a 2-year, $13 million deal from the Los Angeles Clippers. Will be interesting to see how that dynamic is there in Los Angeles. Anything you guys want to touch on for that, or anything else you want to touch on with the NBA offseason?
Good for John Wall. I hope the best for him. I think he's gonna be great this season.
I hope so.
I agree. He's gonna have to like prove why he can leapfrog Reggie. What's it? Reggie
Jackson.
Reggie Jackson.
I don't even think they need.
BC product.
They need him to. They need him to just come off the bench and just give him instant offense and call it a day.
Buckets.
That's how I see it. They be Jamal Crawford and just go out there and just score. That's
honest.
all we need from you, bro.
John Wall's also a great facilitator too. He got a lot of people paid in Washington, so
he would do a good job running that second unit. Honestly,
I agree.
I'll just really.
I wanted him in Boston. So.
Me too.
Really quickly, the Clippers. It's just funny how, to me on paper, if they are healthy next year, to me I think they're better than Golden State. I think they're better.
That's a fun 2K team, right?
They have. Yeah. They're phenomenal. I mean, I play against them on 2K and I can't beat them. On my player, like Kawhi is always locking me up. But anyway, if they're healthy, obviously great. And everyone's so quick to want to anoint them as the champions next year. Oh, you hear it on ESPN, and it's funny to me because Anthony Davis misses a lot of games, and they crush Anthony Davis. Kawhi Leonard has missed more games in the last 3 seasons than Anthony Davis has. I don't know why that's not a narrative that's being used enough. Paul George is missing games now. Like your 2 best players that you're paying $37 million to are not there 60. Oh, we're talking about availability again, right? They're not there 60% of the time. And then when you need them to be there, Paul George is hitting the side of the basket. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know what's going to change. But more power to John Wall. I'm happy that he got that easy money sitting on the bench last year. And, he was one of my favorite players coming out of college when he was at Kentucky, with the Dougie and everything. So I'm happy to see him still in the league. Him and DeMarcus Cousins have had a very weird career so far. But, hey, they're still rocking. So here we are.
Yeah, I'm happy for John Wall. I want to see him do good. I've always been a big John Wall fan. I got a Wizards John Wall jersey still, so I'm praying he does well. Jerry was it Grant went to Portland too. That's another big one too to help.
Jeremy Grant.
Jeremy Grant's another big one too.
Detroit's a nice little young team, man. Oh, and are we still on the NBA really quick?
Yeah, that's my league pass team.
All right,
Detroit.
Can I say something about the summer league?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Paolo Banchero looks fantastic. That's all I'm gonna say. I was so wrong about him. I was so wrong. But like when I see him on the NBA on the court against likely NBA players, he looks like a grown man already. Like you know how we talk about LeBron, his NBA body when he got in the league. This big boy got that NBA body already. I mean, he's only gonna probably get bigger. 6'10". He has touch. He can. Defensively, he's a lot better than I thought he was. His motor runs a lot higher than I thought it would be. So I'm going to be driving to Orlando.
I was about to say, let's go.
I'm definitely going to be driving to Orlando to go see Ben. Is it Banchero or Banchero?
Banchero.
Where Paolo? Is he Filipino or something?
Italian.
Italian.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go see that boy play, man. He's definitely won me over for sure.
The only thing I dislike about him is his music taste because he likes NBA YoungBoy. But other than that, like I'm okay with
20. He's 20 years old.
Yeah,
I know.
NBA YoungBoy to these 20-year-olds is like Jay-Z.
He also said he would get rid of Kendrick Lamar. And I was like, you can't do that, man. But
bro, he's 20.
Oh, he is Italian. What the fuck?
He is. He's got Italian citizenship. His mom, I think, was Italian.
I thought he was Brazilian.
No.
Ooh, does Italy still have a good international team for basketball?
They
got Gallo and Banchero.
Hey, that could be something.
Danilo.
Another thing I want to point out as we're gonna stay on the summer league is the Chet Holmgren shit, man. Like I like Chet Holmgren. I think it's a good place he fell, but they were crowning this guy the greatest thing in the draft when he had that first game. But then he ran into that wall of Kenneth Lofton Jr. man, and Kenneth Lofton Jr. bullied his ass, big boy. And I love seeing a Oliver Miller type player out there just balling him up like that, man. So,
what do you think Zion's going to do to him if he plays availability? What do you think Giannis is going to do to him?
Availability.
Jeez, he's going to kill him. He's going to kill him. So
that
boy needs to get in the weight room ASAP.
Yeah,
that's true. But all right, real quick, I want to touch on some MLB. KK, if you want to tune out, you feel free to. No, I'm just
here.
playing. I'm just playing.
I'm here.
So obviously the All-Star starters were announced recently. I think I was overall okay with who was voted in. I would have liked. I mean, I was gonna make this comment, but then I saw Yordan Alvarez did getting in, but then had to bow out because of injury. But honestly, I would have loved to see Julio Rodriguez get in there instead
He's
of.
in.
Me
Is he?
too.
Did he just get in?
He's
did
already
it.
he was voted in.
I wanted
he
to
was
see him
voted
as
in.
a starter, other than
Fantasy
Giancarlo
darling,
Stanton.
baby. Fantasy
Because
darling.
if you look at their stats right now, so you got Giancarlo Stanton, 236 average, 22 home runs, 56 RBIs, and an 832 OPS. I mean, decent. Average is trash. I mean, that's what he does. Then you got Julio Rodriguez batting 274, 17 home runs, 44 RBIs, 21 stolen bases, and an 811 OPS. That kid does it all, man. That kid does it all, dude. That kid is
Everything.
He
legit.
didn't let us down. He
Fantasy
didn't let us
darling,
down.
baby.
That kid is legit. And then I
Can I
thought,
do you one better?
yeah.
You know, you go. I have a snub that I'm really mad about, but I'll let you go.
Oh, I was gonna say I love Ronald Acuna. I don't think he should have been a starter. I agree that he's
I don't
probably
think
one
so.
of the best players, but he didn't play half the year. And I think Brian Reynolds should have snuck in there. I think as of
But he's
4 p.m. he didn't get in as. Oh, I meant as a starter. He might have gotten in as a reserve player because of injuries, but I felt that Brian Reynolds had a really good year. Granted, it sucks he plays for Pittsburgh. Or even Juan Soto getting in as a starter. I know Juan Soto ended up getting in as a reserve, but I think Juan Soto had a better season so far than Acuna. So
All right, I'm gonna just first of all, you know how MLB does this thing where they have to have a player from every team.
yeah,
I think that's the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life. Because I'll do you one better as far as a snub. Okay, I'm obviously the resident Phillies fan here, right? Luis Castillo got voted in as
Shouldn't
as
have
an
been.
All-Star.
Should not have
3
been.
and 4, 74 strikeouts, 2.92 ERA, right? Zach Wheeler, he's now 9 and 4, if I'm not mistaken, 8 and 4, 9 and 4, over 100 strikeouts and a 2.46 ERA.
that's my
What kind
fantasy
of
starter,
crap?
baby.
What kind? Mine too, actually. What kind of crap is that?
Yeah.
Zach Wheeler not being an All-Star is very egregious. Very egregious. So that's my big gripe is how MLB handles all that stuff because Luis Castillo, great, good pitcher. He's not having a dominant year to be voted as an All-Star over Zach Wheeler. I think he got cheated last year from Cy Young, and yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think those are both fair points.
I agree. There's a lot of good players that got snubbed. I think Ty France is the biggest one that got snubbed. He's having a great year hitting offensively. And
Again, Vic, remember I mentioned it? The Mariners, fun little league pass team to watch, man. They're legit.
only one player.
Baseball's
But
not
Hey Rod, when we did our fantasy
MLB
draft,
TV team.
when
Yeah,
we did our fantasy draft,
it's just boring. You can't.
well, I told A Rod when we did our fantasy draft, the Seattle Mariners are a team that and the Blue Jays are two teams that I actively enjoy to watch because they're just a lot of fun. There's a lot of stuff going on with those two teams. So
They
I
put
openly love watching those two teams play.
I'm gonna say this, and this is probably blasphemous to say this as the co-host of a podcast, right? Sports related podcast, but
Breaking news.
baseball's boring as fuck, and the only thing I can watch are the Red Sox. I'm sorry.
Don't come to the game tomorrow. Oh, it's the Red Sox are playing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like I can't sit down and I can't wait to watch this Mariners versus Brewers game. Can't wait.
That would actually be a pretty good game.
That's it. But I don't know why. Like for me, I used to be like that. I used to be able to watch baseball games, but now it's just so boring, and I just get pissed off that the umpires suck all the time, and we should have robot umpires that call balls and strikes. It's bullshit that we still have humans do it.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, it's not what it used to be. It's not, you're not having Sammy Sosa out there. You got the shift that makes it boring as hell. I was telling A-Rod and Sammy the other night that, that Red Sox-Yankees game that won 10 innings the other night was
I'm
good.
shutting up from now on.
It was great. It was great. A lot of fun to watch, and I think for the casual fan, it's fun too. I can't get into these games that are just 2-0, 1-0, 2 hits, 5 hits, and they were all singles. You know what I mean? Like it's It's not what it used to be. It's not, you don't have
It's
to
all home runs. Actually, there's a lot of power out there.
There is, there is.
House Schwarber taking a home run every other night.
There is,
Aaron
but-
Judge,
we-
Jordan.
When you have
There's
a team
a lot of
that
power
has
going on, too.
Townie and Mike Trout, and that team doesn't make the playoffs, that's embarrassing.
This
for
is where
baseball.
Tony Reale. This is where
And I
Tony
talked to
Reale
A-Rod
would
about
mute
that.
Vic.
That is embarrassing. It's terrible.
Go ahead, mute me.
It is.
Hey,
It's
Rod, go
crazy
ahead.
you can be one of the division and lose 12 straight. But if we're going back to snubs real quick, I'm saying Ty France. I'm saying Kevin Gossman. I'm saying both pitchers from the Phillies, and Nola and Wheeler. And
No,
I'm saying
Nola's not been good. Nola's not been good.
last couple
Wheeler
games, yeah,
for sure. Nola's been very disappointing.
Nola should be in there, and Freeman should definitely be an all-star in my books, man. After all the shit that happened to him like, with his agent, he should have been an all-star.
Yeah, the Freeman thing was funny that he didn't get in actually.
Yeah. But obviously, this past weekend, huge AL East series split this past weekend. Sorry, KK, we're talking about the AL East, the best division in baseball.
Hey, I still cheer for the Rays as well. You see the hat?
That's
Devil
true.
Rays.
That's true.
I'm a homer. I'm still a homer when it comes to the Devil Rays. Don't worry. So I could talk about this.
A-Rod, how did you feel after this weekend split? Since you're the guest, we'll let you start with this Red Sox-Yankees split over the weekend.
I'm not texting y'all anymore when I feel confident. That's for sure.
Explain the backstory. You got to explain the backstory.
Backstory was what was it? Was it Judge hit the bomb and we went up like 4 runs and I said game or all rise, and then slowly chipping away you tie it, then it goes to extra innings, and then Verdugo hits the walk-off single or double, whatever it was, to win the game.
Yeah.
So I'm just gonna stop speaking when it comes to the Yankees. I think that's them and the Knicks are the 2 teams I'm superstitious about. The Jets I could give a shit about. They always let me down. But the Yankees, they're supposed to do good. And whenever, this is my superstition with the Yankees, whenever I'm heavily invested in it and I'm texting people, they end up losing. I can watch the games and they'll play fine. But when I'm heavily invested in it and I start running my mouth, they find a way to
And
lose.
it's always
And then-
against the Red Sox. It's always against the
No,
Red Sox.
it comes against other teams. I'll text Rays fans, and then Yandy Diaz, who has like 3 home runs on the year, who's big as shit, hits a grand slam mammoth.
But the big
out the-
point, though, was the fact that the Yankees bullpen had been nails all year. And then those 2 games in particular, when
But
you
you
started
did-
talking,
Yeah,
when they gave
but
up.
you brought the rain on Wandy Peralta, who I think is our Achilles heel in the bullpen. Obviously, he's a veteran. He's been around. He's a lefty. We need him. But at the beginning of this season, I was not sold on our bullpen. I was like, dude, these guys are all pinatas. Like, we got rid of players. Chapman isn't healthy. Like, I don't know what we're going to get out of it. And now they're trying to find a way to remove Chapman from the closing role, which I think is a bad idea. I just think we don't let him pitch as much as he should. I think we let him sit for 5 days and we wait till a close game, and then we bring him in and he's been iced for a very long time. These guys, even if you're getting shellacked, just bring him in so he gets some tossing around and let him throw around. And I still don't like Boone as a manager. I love how the direction we're going. I still don't like the Judge's sign. But, we are the best team in baseball. Yeah, I said it. The best team in baseball. The record speaks for itself.
Watch out for the Astros.
We got fuck those Astros and their cheating asses. We got 60 wins, and Judge looks great, and the whole team looks great. Giancarlo Stanton's an all-star again. He's playing like an all-star. Anthony Rizzo could have been an all-star, but he's not. It's okay with me. There's other players that deserve it, but they're playing good baseball. They're playing good baseball. The Phillies suck. Everything is good, man, so I'm happy.
Yeah, 46 and 41 is not great, but it's not terrible. Anyway, you
We're in
guys
the
go
same
ahead.
boat. We're in the
These
same
guys,
boat.
go
Okay,
ahead.
we're in the same boat. So, Vic, I know you're not a big baseball fan. You are a big Red Sox fan. I brought you back to the Red Sox world. Unfortunately, I brought you back to the Red Sox world because I feel like it's like such a roller coaster now for you that you didn't need during the offseason. But so far, give me your midseason grade, your review of the Red Sox going into this All-Star break, what you want to see from maybe a trade rumor perspective. You guys can chime in on that aspect, what you want to see from your team come the trade deadline, because obviously all 3 of our teams are playoff teams, and obviously they could use help on pretty much all ends. So, Vic, let's start with you.
All right, B+. B. I'm happy with what the Celtics have done. The Red Sox. That's a Freudian slip there, guys. I'm happy with what the Red Sox have done. Coming back from the way they started, if you would ask me in the beginning of the season, would have been F. I should have been smart, and I should have known better that Alex Cora would be able to turn it around. I'm okay with it, Sammy. I don't want to be the front runner. I don't want to be the Yankees. I want to be the Red Sox, the plucky team with a bunch of assholes that somehow win the championship. I like where we're at.
Yeah, I think I'm with you. I think we're looking at a situation in the AL East. You got 4 teams fighting for 90-plus wins again. It's going to be an absolute battle. I mean, we're coming down to the wire
Orioles
now.
got better. The Orioles are getting better too, guys.
They got
Orioles-
44
Orioles
wins, man.
chat.
That's crazy.
12 wins in a row.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but there's 3 teams in the AL East are going to secure up those spots, right? So I think is it 2 or 3 wild cards this year?
3.
3.
Or
So
3
Red
teams. So
Sox-
yeah, two.
Yeah, so it's gonna be Red Sox, Rays, and Blue Jays, and I don't think it's close. At the end of the year, I mean, I don't think it's gonna be close.
Yeah.
So 4 teams in the AL East are gonna make it. I'll be right back. My pizza just got here.
So I'll touch on what I think the Red
Right.
Sox need, because I don't think Vic's gonna know some of the names I'm gonna say, but I think the Red Sox need a first baseman really, really badly. We could talk about the bullpen, but they do have 3 arms that are injured right now, 4 on my bullpen, pretty important arms with Whitlock and Houck, who have been really good coming out of the bullpen. Obviously, they're not available. We found something in Schreiber, so he's pretty good. Obviously, that's going to move, Diekman out. That's going to make Matt Strahm get limited amount of, outings to pitch, so that's going to be great. We got Sale coming back tonight. I haven't checked the score yet. He was looking good after 2 innings. So Sale's pitching again, so that's going to be really helpful. Waka's out, should be back after the break. Nate Eovaldi started his rehab assignment in the minors, in the AAA, so he should be back. But so I think it's serviceable there. And when I checked, I think we were about a 3.45 ERA as a total team ERA, which I don't think is terrible. I think it was like 12th. So I mean, we're middle of the road where we need to be. But I think we just need another bat. Like we need another like. The big name that's been traveling around, it's probably traveling around for everybody, is Josh Bell. Seems to be a common name.
He's been traveling around for us too.
That's coming around. I was
He's in the
going to say, because you
division.
guys need a first baseman too. But
He's in the division
yeah, we're top 10 in hitting in most categories. We can't get any home runs. 20th in home runs, which is awful. It's just absolutely dreadful. We have a pretty good.
bet the year.
Dude, it's so bad. Weighted on base average, they do pretty well in terms of overall TRA. It's been team ERA. It's been good. So yeah, we need that first baseman, a guy that can at least just play first base and not just be a net negative. Maybe go after some random bullpen guy. I want a David Bednar from Pittsburgh if he's for sale. I don't want anything. I don't want him for too expensive. But yeah, that's what I think. What about you? We'll start with A-Rod, go to KK, because we started with KK last time. So A-Rod, go ahead.
For the Yankees, I mean, hitting is there. I
What's
don't
your grade
really
first?
want to.
What's your grade for the Yankees? Obviously A. It's got to be an A right now.
Oh, my grade is an A plus 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 plus. I didn't expect this.
Nobody-
I
Less than that.
Yeah.
Less than that.
I expected it, to be a good season, but I expected everything to be tight, not to be 15 games up on everybody. So
Sorry, guys.
my wants would be one, to get rid of Joey Gallo. If we can move Gallo for something, I would be okay with that, and sign a good defensive outfield.
Was
I
it
know
you
we're
who
looking
posted the Andujar thing where it showed like Andujar's average versus Gallo's average, and then Andujar doesn't
Yeah.
even play?
Yeah, exactly. And Andujar wants out, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So
Because he doesn't
that's
play.
He doesn't, exactly. Like that makes no sense to me. Gallo, I know they paid a lot of money for him, so of course they want to play. Plus he's a left-handed bat. But I would try and move him. I know they were like linked to Michael Taylor. I don't know how much great that makes me. I'm fine with Hicks in center field, and I don't know why they keep putting Judge in center field. That just kind of scares me. I'd rather have him in right.
Stupid.
Yeah, it makes no sense. But left field is open. If we get somebody like a Michael Taylor, I'd be okay with that. I don't need to go big. I don't need to get a big name, outfielder or whatever. Don't spend the money. Keep the money there for Judge. And if we can get like a pitcher for cheap on the back end, a starter or a bullpen guy, I'll be okay. Because like these guys are playing too hard, and knock on wood.
Frankie Montas?
That's who I want. Nobody's gone down yet in the pitching. Everybody's been healthy for the most part. So somebody's going to have to crack soon because these guys are throwing gas every night, going 6 innings, giving you quality starts. Someone's going to go down. I know Herman is coming back. I want another bullpen arm though because I'm still scared of the bullpen. Like they can upgrade somewhere there, and if they can get, I don't have a specific bullpen guy I want. But if they can go get somebody, like I'm okay with it as long as it's a step in the right path and make it a left-handed arm at that. So,
KK,
so
we skipped you
why did I get skipped?
because you went to get pizza. KK, go ahead with the Phillies real
Oh,
quick.
good.
We'll go back to
All right.
Vic.
Some sustenance.
We'll go back to you. Don't worry. You wrap it up. Don't worry.
All right. Letter grade. I'm gonna give us a B minus. It would have been a D early on, the way we were chugging along. But once we fired Girardi, I was hashtagging every day on Twitter. Girardi was a problem for about a month because clearly I don't know what the hell's
What
going
was the
on.
streak that you guys had after the firing? Was it like 8 to 10 games?
12,
Was it 12?
13 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was. I mean, it was crazy. Like it was insane how that happened. But so yeah, Girardi was the problem. I'm happy he's gone.
I think Schwarber had like no home runs until he got fired, right?
And now look at him.
Yeah.
He has like 28. Like we're you're talking about home runs. Boston, what 20? You said in home runs. We're 5th. So the obviously though the problem now is that Bryce Harper is out for an undetermined amount of time. I think it was a broken wrist or something in his hand area. It's escaping my head right now. So that's obviously a big loss. We haven't completely suffered since he's been gone. We've been after our winning streak, we've kind of been playing just above 500 baseball. Zach Wheeler's been pitching amazing. Nola has been disappointing for me at least. We have 8 wins out of Wheeler, and then Ranger Suarez, he has 6 wins, but it's very like hit or miss with him. He's either gonna give up 10 runs or give up no runs. It's like it's nothing consistent there. So, going into this All-Star break, and we're looking at trade situations. I've been saying this for the last 2-3 years now. We need pitching. We need pitching. We need pitching. We address the hitting, and the hitting is great. And we have this young dude coming up. What's his name? God, his name escapes my head. He's Derek Hall, I think his name is. He's played
First baseman.
Yeah, he plays first base. I just don't know if he's the superstar that's going to get us over the top. But he's been playing very well since he got in. And then Bohm has been playing pretty decently as well. Bryce Stott's been playing decently. So the bats are going to be fine. I'm not concerned about the bats. We'll figure that part out. It's just if we can't pitch, then it's like pointless. Because we've been scoring runs pretty well now, like lately, and we keep giving up, especially in those latter innings, 7, 8, and 9. We're just giving up too many runs. And
I think you're in a similar spot as us. Yeah.
We're trying to figure out who I think Corey Neville's our closer, if you want to call him that, but it's not like he's a closer too. I don't know. We got to figure that out. We need to have some more consistency there. Like, and Vic was talking about how you miss kind of like old baseball or whatever, and it's funny because I think about that because as a non-Yankee fan, when Mariano got in the game, it was like, all right, it's we about to 6. It's going to be 6 what is it like outs or 3 outs, whatever it's going to be. The closer's in the game, right? Now it's like all this analytical stuff. They pick 7 guys in 3 innings. It's kind of
It
weird.
really ruins the game. Yeah, it really has taken the fun out of it.
Yeah. So, maybe I need to get with the times, and maybe we're not going to get a closer, and we're going to have to just keep going with this whole system. The Rays have been successful doing it for some time now, so it's like, why not us? But we're obviously not as savvy as the Rays when it comes to that stuff.
I think I was talking to A-Rod about this. The closer position right now, or even like a solid stud late inning pitcher, is becoming like the quarterback. Everybody needs one. You don't know when you're going to get a good one. And it's like, once you get that good one, you better fucking hold on because to find a replacement is like borderline impossible. You can find those guys, everybody, because now we're going to a world where pitchers only are required to pitch 5, 6 innings, maybe 7 once in a while. And then it really comes down to those bullpen guys that are really the guys that are going to keep you in games, have you win games, especially with all the analytics involved. So yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the closer and late inning guy
Yeah.
is so important.
Yeah.
So Vic, I said first base for what the Red Sox need. What do you think?
I mean, they need a bullpen. They suck.
So
Same
we have
situation.
Whitlock coming back, Houck coming back, and then we found something with Schreiber.
How can't play in Toronto? So how's he supposed to help us when we play in the playoffs against Toronto in the wild card series? Yo, fuck Houck, trade his ass.
Speaking of Toronto, we're playing Toronto right now. JT Realmuto can't play. Alec Boehm can't play.
I saw the JT Realmuto interview where he talked to a few doctors. Like, really, dude? Okay.
Well, JT's my favorite catcher, so it kind of hurts that he's not there. But obviously, it's.
I mean, we lost a few games because Houck wasn't there because, he did his own research on Google. So
That was Duran.
No, it was. I'm sure. And you don't think Houck did? That's the reason Houck didn't.
No, Houck just said he doesn't want it. That's why I said I respect Houck more than Duran. Duran was like, I'm doing research.
Right, it's stupid. Both are dumb.
It's a good cop-out answer, though. It's a very good cop-out answer. Yeah, I'm just going to do more research.
Just get the fucking thing. Your team needs you to play. You're a professional athlete. I get it. You don't want it. Blah, blah, blah.
Go beat Kyrie. And single-handedly lose a team. Single-handedly ruin a season for a team. I'm fine.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't care what your political stance is towards the vaccine. I don't care what anything that I don't care in real life. But you're a professional athlete. You get paid millions of dollars. Get the fucking vaccine and go out there and pitch an inning in Toronto so the Sox don't fucking blow it for the 18th time in the season.
With that being said,
if you're open to get steroids shot up your ass, and if you're open to get Toradol shot up your knee, you should probably be okay taking it.
Right. Exactly.
With that being said, I think that's the perfect ending to the show. KK and A-Rod, thank you guys so much for coming on. I'll let you guys, this is your moment to plug it all.
KK. Well said.
A-Rod and KK, thank you so much. I know this is your time to plug your show, plug where everybody can find you.
You want me to go or you want to go first?
Bro, you know what to do, man. You know how to got it.
It's always a pleasure coming on, boys. Love having you on. Love coming on your show. It's good back and forth talk. Always hot topics. Always crazy Vic moments, which I really enjoy. Always 2 hours.
Always 2 hours.
That's the energy we bring. We like to make podcasting long. We're the long. We just call it the long podcast. We just call ourselves.
We're clearly available, right?
Yeah, exactly. Clearly available. But yeah, you can find KK and I on YouTube at the Fairweather Podcast, Instagram, the Fairweather Podcast. Wherever you subscribe to podcasting from, just search the Fairweather Podcast, you'll find us. And on Instagram, our handle is fair_weather_pod. We will be getting on TikTok soon.
Coming shortly.
You guys getting ready?
It's going to be great.
I'll wait to do a TikTok dance for the fans. So
Yeah.
coming soon to a theater phone near you.
We're in between seasons right now. We just finished season 3, wrapping up episode 70. So season 4 should be coming out soon, right before football season. So we'll get y'all all hyped up and ready for the football season to come. So
We're only like 60 days away from kickoff, guys.
Crazy stuff.
I had a beautiful takeaway for today that I'm going to save for the next show or for the show that you guys feature us on.
Let her fucking rip, Sammy.
No, it's too late. It's too late. No, I have it written up. At least I have it written up. I got it written up.
You've been trying to get this off for 2 episodes, and I just want to hear it.
It's all good. It's all good. I'm saving it. I like it. It's good. I wrote it up. We're good. We're saving it for another episode.
I just want to thank our guests as always, KK, A-Rod. You guys are always a pleasure to have on. I mean, there's a reason we go 2 hours every time you guys are on. It's because we have so much fun talking to y'all. And, of course, as always, I just want to thank our amazing host, Sammy, who not only hosts, but he also produces. He works his ass off and doesn't get paid for it. So big ups to my guy, Storm.
I click a few buttons. That's about it.
Whatever,
We
dude.
all need a Sammy in our life.
So everybody, thank you guys for tuning in to Townie Sports. Be sure to check us in 2 weeks again, or maybe we'll just go on a quick hiatus, take a month off. We'll see. I'll talk to you, Vic, about it, and we'll let everybody know.
Whatever you want.
But if you want, check us out on Instagram page at Townie_sports. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our Townie Sports YouTube page. Check us out on TikTok at Townie Sports Pod. Got some more mini highlights of the show. Probably this last rant that Vic just had, this little heater, is probably going to go on TikTok. That thing was
That
great.
needs to be on there.
That thing
That was
needs to be
gold.
on there.
That
So
was
that was
gold.
great. But I am Sammy
I'm gonna
alongside
talk
Vic
about
and, of course, the great boys at the Fair Weather Podcast. And this was Townie Sports. See you guys next time.
Swag so mean, swagger on 100. We keep it real, dog. Nah, we ain't never fronted. You know my whole cap G plan stay blunted. My toes stay bruised, cause I'm running to the money. Swag so mean,